any form of relationship that undermines the dignity of a human being. All right. And if I'm speaking within Christian term, any relationship that undermines the image of God in a human person. Now, what does that look like? That may look like imposing certain theological frameworks on the person. For example, if we look at the example of the Methodist woman, the church member, and then the pastor, that conversation, all right, the conversation that happened
You're
between
talking about the viral video, the social media video.
the viral, right? Yes, I'm just trying to be careful. That is an unhealthy relationship. All right. That is the manifestation and expression of an unhealthy relationship that was happening, outside our view and now has been brought into the public because of the power of social media and all that. So that may be an example of unhealthy relationship. That's how broadly I would define it. Any relationship that undermines the dignity of a human person within the church context. And that also has something to do with how authority is understood and how it is deployed. So the idea of dependency on healthy relationships, authority, power, they are intertwined in a very messy and complex relationship.
Mhm.
And it is the way we see authority, the way we think about it, the way we understand it, and the way we live it. That is, in my opinion, one of the major things that creates this unhealthy relationship. All right, because responsibility is distributed unequally,
Yep.
authority is distributed unequally. The pastor carries more authority than the average member. So whatever the pastor says to be true, in some sense, because his authority is a representative authority and derivative, he is representing the supreme God, right? So that is a very slippery ground. There's just little that you as a member can say because if you question him, you're questioning God, right? Because the idea is that it is God that makes set leaders over you, right? So if God has set a leader over you, if you communicate in a certain way to the leader that the leader finds disrespectful, then you're disrespecting God. So authority is uneven because it is located within the representative of God when it should be located elsewhere, so that we are all just operating within that authority. So because we are not operating within an authority, but authority is located and concentrated into a certain finite creator, who in this case is the anointed pastor, all right? There's going to be an unhealthy relationship. But if we shift authority
Yeah.
from that, if we move authority from that being, then at least we may have an opportunity to rethink what authority is and then reform that relationship. So if you ask me about how I'm going to define unhealthy relationship, and I've even spoken too much about it, I'm just going to say more broadly that any relationship that undermines the image of God in a human person,